The monitors were all flat. Every machine in that sterile, quiet room bore witness to a life that was slipping away. The doctors, with heavy hearts and somber faces, had prepared the family to say their final goodbyes. Then, in front of them all, something impossible happened. A single faint blip appeared on the screen. A heartbeat returned. Color flooded back into her skin. The relentless hiss of the ventilator quieted. The impossible became real. A life that should have ended had been restored. This isn't a work of fiction. It's a true event, documented by medical experts, verified by tests, yet no one could explain how it happened. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear is a story of hope, wonder, and a healing that science itself could not deny. Her name was Emma. She was just 34 years old, vibrant, and so full of life. A mother, a daughter, a friend to so many. Her laughter could fill any room. Her dreams reached for the sky, and her heart overflowed with hope. She had plans, adventures to take, and a future she was so excited to live. Then, a sudden illness struck without warning. A rare, severe brain condition left her body fragile, her life hanging by a thread in the intensive care unit. The doctors were direct. Her condition was critical. They said nothing more could be done. Those words hit her family like a thunderclap. The hospital room, once a place of healing, became a place of fear. Filled with the constant hum of machines, the sterile smell of disinfectant, and the quiet, rhythmic beeping of monitors. Every beep was a measure of her life. Every flicker on the screen told a story of devastating uncertainty. Her family stayed with her, hour after hour, day after day. They held her hands, whispering words of encouragement, praying silently, refusing to leave her side. They shared memories of the times she had smiled, laughed, and loved. They hoped, with every fiber of their being, for any sign that she could survive. The nurses and doctors worked tirelessly. But even their incredible skill couldn't change the course of her illness. One night it seemed all hope was lost. Her heart rate plummeted, her breathing slowed to a whisper. Her body became almost completely unresponsive. The doctors looked grim. A nurse held her hand, tears streaming down her cheeks. The family gathered close, feeling utterly helpless, fearing the inevitable. They whispered words of love, of goodbye, of a hope that might never return. Time seemed to stretch into an eternity, and the room became heavy with silence and grief. And then, something extraordinary happened. A faint blip appeared on the monitor. Her heart beat again. It was slow at first, then it grew stronger. The ventilator eased its work. Her skin warmed. A healthy color returned to her cheeks. The nurse gasped. The doctors exchanged astonished glances. They double-checked the readings, thinking it must be an error. But it was real. Emma was alive. Her recovery was slow, but it was steady. At first she could only move her fingers, then her arms. Soon she learned to sit up on her own, to breathe without the machines that had kept her alive. Every small step was a monumental triumph. Her family watched in awe, their hearts filled with a gratitude and amazement that words couldn't capture. The room that once held so much despair now overflowed with hope. Emma's condition was documented meticulously. Her scans, her tests, her charts. Every single detail was recorded by the medical team. The improvement was sudden, it was dramatic, and it was complete. There was no medical explanation for her recovery. Everything pointed to a miracle. Even the doctors, men and women of science, could not explain it. They had seen patients improve before, of course, but never like this. Never so quickly, never so completely. Emma went from being in a critical, near-death state to walking, talking, and smiling again. It was the kind of recovery that challenges the very limits of science and medicine. Emma's family celebrated quietly at first. They hugged, they cried, and they thanked the universe for this incredible gift of life. They knew she had been given a second chance, and as they looked into her eyes, they saw the same spark of hope she had always carried, now shining brighter than ever before. In the days and weeks that followed, Emma's recovery continued to defy all expectations. Each day she grew stronger. She regained her physical strength, her coordination, her speech. She returned to the simple joys of life that we so often take for granted. Walking in the warm sunlight, feeling the wind on her face, hearing the laughter of her loved ones. Every moment was a precious reminder that life can return, even after it seems lost forever. The doctors reviewed her charts again and again. They analyzed every test, every scan, every single measurement. They consulted with their colleagues from around the world. Yet there was no explanation. No specific treatment had caused this level of recovery. No medicine, no surgery, no therapy could account for the sudden, complete healing. It was as if her body had simply repaired itself in a way that defied all logic and medical understanding. Emma's recovery was more than just physical. It was emotional and spiritual. She learned to appreciate life in ways she had never known before. Every morning felt like a gift, every smile a triumph, every step a victory. She returned to her daughter, who had missed her mother desperately. She returned to friends and family who had never stopped hoping for her. And she returned to herself, stronger, wiser, and filled with a profound sense of gratitude. The family spoke often of what had happened. They felt it was a miracle, something beyond medicine, beyond human understanding, beyond science. It was a moment where hope, faith, and life itself converged in the most beautiful way. Emma herself said that during her darkest moments she had felt a presence, a warmth, a quiet voice telling her to keep going. She couldn't explain it, but she believed in it. The doctors could only watch, record, and accept the reality of what had happened. They had seen this miracle unfold before their very eyes. They had documented it in her official medical records, yet no logical explanation was possible. Emma had recovered fully, against all odds, in a way that challenged their fundamental understanding of life and death. Her story became a powerful symbol of hope, a reminder that even when everything seems lost, life can find a way to return, that even when the world says no, there may be a force beyond our comprehension saying yes. Emma's recovery inspired so many people, not because it was common, but precisely because it was so extraordinary. It reminded everyone who heard it that miracles are real, that healing is possible, that hope should never ever be abandoned. So for those of you listening now, consider this. How often do we surrender too early? How often do we give up when the odds seem impossible? Emma's story proves that even in the darkest of hours, life can find a way. That healing can come when it is least expected. That love, faith, and hope may play a role in ways we simply cannot measure. Emma returned fully to her life. She laughed again. She loved again. She lived each day to the fullest, appreciating the precious gift of every single heartbeat. And she became a living testimony that miracles do exist, that the human body and spirit hold mysteries far beyond our current understanding, and that hope is a force more powerful than we can possibly imagine. If this story touches your heart, know this: miracles are real. They may not happen every day, but when they do, they remind us of the extraordinary possibilities of life. Hope is stronger than despair. Faith is stronger than fear. And healing, in its purest form, can come when it is least expected. Remember Emma. Remember the doctors who couldn't explain it. Remember the family who refused to give up. And remember that even in the darkest moments, light can return. Life can return. Hope can return. And miracles, documented, undeniable, and real, are possible. Thank you so much for watching. If this story moved you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more incredible stories of hope. We'll see you next time.